Coco Chanel once said that fashion is not something that exists in dresses only. Fashion is in the sky, in the streets. Fashion has to do with ideas, the way we live, and what is happening. This quote is especially true of Paris, the fashion capital of the world. Here, not only are the boutiques and elaborate shopping quarters known for their style, but the streets are also alive with fashion around every corner. Today, we're going to go on an adventure around Paris, France, while discussing some of the top names in the fashion industry as well as their abodes in the City of Lights. Rue Cambon. Placed gently in the first arrondissement of Paris, this address was the apartment of one lady with timeless class. Today, the store of this magnificent woman resides at this location. We are talking about the infamous Coco Chanel. Technically, she lived at the Ritz, but she worked and entertained within the short walking distance at Rue Cambon. Here, you'll notice there are 4 separate floors. Upon entering the lavish front doors of this elegant building, one will walk directly into the Chanel store at the street level. Once inside, the grand spiral staircase lined with mirrors is clearly visible. This staircase was designed especially by Coco Chanel, and it allowed her to see what was going on each of the floors. One floor up this staircase is a row of the haute couture dressing rooms. Just above the dressing rooms is the old apartment of Coco Chanel herself, and finally, on the top floor, Coco's workshop. The roof is even accessible from inside the building, and it is said to have some of the best views of Paris. Chanel lived and worked at this location on Rue Cambon until she died in 1971. Whenever she would return here from her bedroom at the Ritz, there were orders to spray Chanel No. 5 perfume around the stairway so that her signature scent would be waiting for her. Since her death, everything has been unchanged in the building. For our second visit, we will hop on over to the 8th arrondissement, where much of the fashion world in Paris resides. We begin our journey in this arrondissement on the Champs-Élysées, specifically at 101 Avenue des Champs-Élysées. This address has been the famous address of Louis Vuitton in Paris for over 150 years. The French designer opened his first shop in Paris in 1854, and 60 years later, his son and grandson opened the first Louis Vuitton building in the Champs-Élysées. In October of 2009, the store was reopened after a 20-month renovation, becoming the biggest store yet. The store serves as a reminder of the label's unrivaled success in the nearby sector. Before entering the building, one can see the brass-plated rings that interweave to generate screen walls. These brass rings recreate the emblematic elements of the Louis Vuitton monogram. Once through the main doors, a spacious interior is revealed, boasting 1,800 square meters of shop floor. The interior of this grand building has been described as innovative and designed to demonstrate the diversification of the brand while embracing its founding principles of creativity and Still in the 8th arrondissement, we are now at the house of Givenchy, located at 3 Avenue George V. Founded by Hubert de Givenchy in 1952, it is owned by the luxury group LVMH, who also owns the aforementioned Louis Vuitton. The Givenchy store was originally located at another address in Paris, but in 1959, the studio moved to No. 3 Avenue George V. Audrey Hepburn quickly became the most famous ambassador of the brand. She showed off her Givenchy in films such as Sabrina and Breakfast in Tiffany's. She first began her relationship with Givenchy as a client, but shortly after, she became the muse for the house for 40 years. She installed the true reputation of the house after wearing the famous little black dress in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Many other celebrities also wore the clothes of the house of Givenchy, such as the Kennedy families, who famously wore Givenchy clothes at the funeral of John F. Kennedy. Upon entering the store of the House of Givenchy, one can quickly admire the flagship store for men's and women's pret-à-porter and accessories. The store incorporates surreal rooms within rooms and cut-out boxes lined with white, black, or mahogany paneling, and it provides an art gallery setting for Givenchy's cutting-edge and sculptural designs. Next on our tour is Yves Saint Laurent, located at 38 Rue de Faubourg. Yves Saint Laurent is most famous for the smoking tuxedo jacket, see-through blouses, peasant blouses, pantsuits, and also smocks. He set new standards for the world of fashion by feminizing the basic shape of the male wardrobe. He was also convinced that beauty was a necessary luxury for all men and all women. Hedi Slimane, the collections and art designer of Yves Saint Laurent, designed the Paris flagship boutique that opened in May of 2013. The previous deep red and gold color scheme that was present in the former store was replaced by a monochrome interior. Inside, there are many lavish materials present, like marble and nickel-plated bars. This renovation was also used in the Beverly Hills boutique and the London boutique. Our next stop is another wildly famous fashion house located in the heart of Paris, specifically at 30 Avenue Montaigne. Here resides the Christian Dior store. Christian Dior has been called the most recognized name in fashion numerous times. Christian Dior has a reputation as one of the most important couturiers in the 20th century. This reputation was launched in 1947 alongside his very first collection. The collection was said to have introduced the new look, which featured rounded shoulders, a cinched waist, and a very full skirt. The look truly celebrated ultra-femininity and opulence in women's fashion, and continues to do so today. Some well-known clients of Dior are Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana, Sharon Stone, and Gwen Stefani. This store, located on Avenue Montaigne, is the historical brand shop, although there are multiple other Dior boutiques in Paris. This particular shop is located on the main axis of the luxury shopping in Paris, and it includes all product lines sold by the brand, including clothing for men and women, jewelry and watches, and even a Dior phone booth. On our tour, we will visit one more famous fashion icon store, and then we will make our way to the museum that celebrates the fashion in Paris. This next designer that we will visit is Christian Louboutin. Unlike the other designers that have already been mentioned, Christian Louboutin is a designer of shoes. He is famous for the red soles on not only his high heels, but all of his shoes that he designs. The red was actually inspired by a bottle of red Chanel nail polish. Christian Louboutin famously said that men are like bulls, they cannot resist the red sole. His Paris boutiques, particularly the one located at 68 Rue de Faubourg, are filled with their lipstick red velvet show racks, making the window shoppers want to kiss the window. Destination on this fashion adventure through Paris. Here we are at the Palais Galliera, otherwise known as the Fashion Museum of the city of Paris. The museum is located at 10 Avenue Pierre Premier de Serbie. In 1977, the museum moved to this spot and officially became the Museum of Fashion and Costume. Palais Galliera inherited collections of costumes and accessories previously kept at the Musée Carnavalet. The museum has permanent exhibitions of costumes of the 18th century, suits of the 19th century, haute couture, contemporary creation, underwear, accessories, graphics, and photographic collections. There are also many temporary exhibitions, and right now, the exhibit on display is Fashion in France from the years 1947 to 1957. That is all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to our fashion audio guide for the city of Paris, and we hope that you have a great rest of your stay here in the beautiful fashion capital of the world.